Most Christians believe financial struggle begins with a lack of money, not enough income, not enough opportunity, not enough favor, not enough breakthrough. So they pray for more doors, more provision, more increase. But what if the real problem has nothing to do with money? What if the leak is somewhere deeper, hidden, structural, quietly draining progress while you ask heaven for results? Genesis reveals something uncomfortable. Poverty often begins long before the bank account shows it. It begins in disorder, and disorder compounds quietly. And disorder is expensive. It leaks through impulsive spending, forgotten subscriptions, late fees, broken routines, emotional purchases, financial fog, no plan, no margin, no peace. Month after month becomes recovery mode. Every setback feels heavier than it should. Every bill arrives with pressure. Every emergency feels targeted. And eventually, people begin asking silent questions. Why is this happening to me? Why do I work hard and still stay behind? Why does progress never stay? Some call it bad luck. Some call it spiritual warfare. But much of what people call warfare is unmanaged life. That truth stings because it removes excuses and points the spotlight inward. Now look at Genesis. The Bible does not begin with abundance. It begins with chaos, darkness over the deep, formless, empty, unsettled. Nothing fruitful could grow there. So what did God do first? Did He create gold? Did He create overflowing barns? Did He release harvest? No. He created order. Light separated from darkness. Waters separated from waters. Land separated from sea. Boundaries appeared. Rhythm appeared. Structure appeared. Only then came life. Only then came seed. Only then came multiplication. Do not miss this. Before increase, there was structure. Before visible blessing, there was order. Before fruit, chaos was confronted. This means many people are praying for harvest while living in conditions that kill seed. They ask for abundance while ignoring disorder. They ask God to multiply what they still mismanage, and then wonder why heaven feels silent. Here is the principle almost nobody applies. God often fixes systems before He releases increase. Heaven is not confused. Chaos is. Some people do not need more money first. They need cleaner habits, clearer numbers, restored boundaries, stronger discipline, faithful stewardship. Because more money does not heal broken patterns. It magnifies them. If income doubled tomorrow, would peace double too? Or would chaos simply become more expensive? Same income, different order. That explains many lives. And every year lived in disorder steals more than money. It steals peace, time, confidence, future options, momentum. You cannot out-earn disorder. Many realize this too late. After debt grows, after anxiety becomes normal, after years disappear, after they discover the real enemy was never lack alone, it was invisible chaos. But Genesis is the book of beginnings, which means as long as you are breathing, beginnings still exist. And what Genesis reveals next may change how you see money forever. Because in Scripture, abundance never lands in chaos. It lands in prepared ground. People chase more income, more clients, more opportunities, more increase, but rarely ask the deeper question, can my current life even hold what I am asking for? Genesis reveals a pattern most people miss. God did not release life immediately. He prepared the stage first. Light, boundaries, rhythm, space. Then life came. Then seed came. Then multiplication came. Heaven often prepares containers before contents. That means many people are praying for blessings their current structure would waste. They ask for overflow while living in chaos. They ask for increase while leaking what they already have. And when progress does not stay, they blame timing. But increase did not fail. The container cracked. This is why some people earn more, yet remain stressed. They receive more, yet keep losing peace. Money amplifies whatever structure already exists. If discipline exists, it grows. If disorder exists, it spreads. Wealth behaves like water. It exposes every crack in the container. That is why preparation matters more than excitement. Preparation is not delay. Preparation is mercy. What feels like slowness may be God refusing to place weight on weak foundations. Think of a tree. If roots stay shallow and growth becomes fast, height becomes danger. The first storm reveals what applause never could. Money works the same way. More responsibility, more temptation, more exposure, more pressure. If character stays weak, increase becomes heavier than lack ever was. That is why some people were protected by the very delay they complained about. Ask yourself, is my life built for stewardship or reaction? That one question can redeem years. Many Christians pray for doors. Few prepare rooms. They ask for provision while ignoring waste. They ask for abundance while resisting discipline. But Genesis shows another path. Before asking what more can enter, ask what must be repaired first. Close the leaks, create margin, restore order, prepare ground, because the system comes before the surplus. And what Genesis reveals next is sharper still. God does not multiply wishes. God multiplies seed. Most people want increase without planting. They want freedom without discipline. They want abundance without sacrifice. They want a changed future while repeating the same present. But Genesis reveals a law that has ruled since the beginning. Everything multiplies after seed, not before. From the beginning, God embedded multiplication inside seed. Continuation was built into creation, which means many people are waiting for outcomes while neglecting what creates them. They want more money, but do not plant skill. They want stability, but do not plant discipline. They want open doors, but do not plant value. Then they wonder why nothing changes. Here is the tragedy. Many people consume seeds they should be sowing. They spend what could become capital. They waste time that could become knowledge. They burn trust that could become opportunity. They bury gifts that could become provision. And because seed often looks small, ordinary, and unimpressive, they dismiss it. But Scripture never mocks small beginnings. People do. What is saved can become seed. Skill can be seed. Discipline can be seed. Reputation can be seed. Time invested can be seed. An hour invested daily can be seed. The problem is not that seed lacks power. The problem is that people abandon it too early. They plant once, then quit. They sow briefly, then drift. They expect harvest from 1 week of faithfulness. But Genesis reveals cycles: seed time, then harvest, rhythm, repetition, return, which means wealth is often less about intensity and more about sustained sowing, not one brilliant decision, many faithful decisions. Not one emotional burst, consistent obedience. Ask yourself, what in my life today is positioned to multiply? If nothing comes to mind, that is not condemnation. It is clarity. Because one faithful seed can change direction. Repeated, protected, watered, kept alive. Most people wait for a better season to plant. But often, the better season comes because someone planted in an ordinary one. And what Genesis reveals next may free many people from discouragement forever. Delay is often where multiplication begins unseen, where one of the fastest ways to destroy a future harvest is to misread the season you are in. Many people plant briefly, then quit before roots form. They start changing. They start rebuilding. They start sowing better habits. Then walk away because nothing dramatic happened yet. They mistake silence for failure. But Genesis reveals something deeper. Seed was created with a process attached to it. There is always a space between planting and visible fruit, a hidden interval, roots before branches, strength before expansion, identity before responsibility. Delay is not denial. It is development. Modern life trains people to worship speed, while creation still moves by seasons. That is why impatient people keep restarting. And every restart buries momentum again. They quit businesses too early. They abandon discipline too early. They uproot seeds too early. They panic when a seed looks like dirt. But no farmer digs up the ground every week asking why nothing is happening. Only the impatient destroy what was quietly growing. Genesis teaches rhythm. There is a time to plant, a time to prune, a time to wait, a time to gather. Frustration often comes when people demand harvest from a planting season. Some of you are judging your life too early. You planted wisdom recently and expected freedom immediately. You began rebuilding and expected peace overnight. You changed direction and expected years of disorder to vanish at once. That is not how seed works. Healthy things grow hidden first. Nobody applauds roots. Nobody posts roots. Nobody envies roots. Yet roots determine everything. The same is true financially. Quiet discipline, silent restraint, small, consistent progress, faithful repetition. These are roots, and roots are costly because they demand effort before applause. Many people think they started late. Often, they simply quit too early. Ask yourself, am I in a barren season or simply an invisible one? That question can redeem years. Because sometimes nothing looks different above ground, while everything is changing below it. And what Genesis reveals next may explain why expansion still feels delayed. God often gives responsibility before territory. Many ask for more, while mishandling what is already in their hands. More money, more influence, more territory, more opportunity. But Genesis reveals a pattern few respect. God did not give Adam cities first. He gave him a garden, a defined space, a small assignment, a place to steward. Do not miss the message. Before dominion came stewardship. Before scale came care. Before multiplication came management. The garden was not punishment. It was training. Many people think increase is about desire. It is often about capacity. They receive more, then collapse under it. More income without discipline. More visibility without humility. More opportunity without consistency. The problem was never access. It was capacity. That is why some prayers seem delayed, not as rejection, as mercy. Expansion placed on weak structure becomes burden. Growth magnifies whatever already exists. If order exists, growth helps. If chaos exists, growth exposes it. This is why many want the crown while rejecting the garden. They want public reward while resisting private discipline. They want territory while neglecting tools. They want results while despising repetition. But nearly every lasting success story has a garden season. The quiet years, the small room, the unseen work, the modest beginning, the ordinary routine repeated until it becomes uncommon strength. Ask yourself, how am I treating the garden already assigned to me? Your money, your habits, your relationships, your craft, your stewardship. Many people pray for the next chapter while neglecting the present paragraph. Yet hidden inside present faithfulness is proof of readiness. Some think they started late. Often they simply abandoned small assignments too early. They overlooked seasons that were building them. They despised beginnings that were training grounds. Your garden may look small now, cultivated well. It becomes territory later. And what Genesis reveals next explains why many stay stuck for years. Some are not trapped by lack. They are trapped by cycles they never learned to see. Most people do not wake up one morning and choose financial bondage. They drift into it, quietly, gradually, reasonably. One decision, one payment, one subscription, one upgrade, one season of avoidance. Then, one day, they look up, and years are gone. This is why many begin late. Not because they were cursed, not because they lacked ability. They were captured by slow traps. Debt is one of the deepest. Debt feels helpful at first. So does quicksand. It gives comfort now, then invoices freedom later. It trains impatience, dependence, relief over discipline, and even rising income struggles to save someone trapped in that pattern. Then comes consumption culture. Modern life profits when people stay restless. So people chase image over strength, display over foundation, noise over peace. But Genesis teaches the opposite. Cultivate before display, build before broadcast, plant before celebrating, strength before appearance. Then comes invisible chaos, the disorder no one posts. No clarity, no margin, no rhythm, no plan. From the outside, life may look fine. Inside, one disruption can shake everything. Income can hide chaos for a while. Eventually, reality sends an invoice, and many stay trapped because dysfunction became normal. Everyone is stressed. Everyone lives like this. But common does not mean healthy. The real cost of starting late is not only money, it is time. Years compounding could have worked. Years peace could have grown. Years children could have watched a different model. But hear this clearly. Late is not finished. Genesis is the book of beginnings, which means beginnings still exist. Many stay stuck another decade grieving the last decade. Do not do that. Time will pass either way, so begin, quietly, humbly, now. And what Genesis reveals next may change everything. How to restart the cycle, even after years of drift. Late is a feeling, not a sentence. Many people say they are behind when what they really mean is this. They finally became aware. And awareness is not punishment. It is awakening. You cannot rebuild what you refuse to see. Genesis began in darkness, in disorder, in emptiness. Yet chaos was not the end. It was the starting point. The same can be true for you, because chaos is not final when order begins. So here is the reset. Bring light, bring truth into the open. Numbers lose power when named. Face what is real. Separate wisely. Needs from wants. Growth from distraction. Peace from noise. Plant immediately. Do not wait for perfect conditions. One faithful seed today can break years of drift. Motion defeats despair. Honor seasons. If this is a rebuilding season, let rebuilding be noble. Invisible progress is still progress. Steward faithfully. Care for what is already in your hands, your money, your habits, your craft, your relationships. Think beyond yourself. Do not build only for relief this month. Build for legacy. Build for peace. Build for those who watch your example. Move with ordered faith. Faith prays. Wisdom prepares. Stewardship acts. God often blesses the work of ordered hands. And the deeper truth is this. The hidden Genesis wealth cycle was never only about money. It was about becoming the kind of person who can carry increase, order instead of chaos, patience instead of haste, seeds instead of excuses, responsibility instead of blame, vision instead of reaction. That transformation is wealth before numbers ever show it. So begin quietly, humbly, now. Many who start early waste years. Many who start late. But start wisely. Surpass them. Let this be your Genesis moment. Because once direction changes, time becomes an ally again.